Called to the booth. We locked in on the draft. We talking running backs, O-line, and it's tight ends. And they talking about it's a unicorn at tight end, man. Paul, drop this beat.
Can't wait to talk about some of the top offensive players in this draft. We already discussed the wide receivers in the previous episode, but running backs must be discussed. We can't forget about tight ends and offensive linemen as well. But Aqib, before we get there, so I know everybody who's at your caliber or made it to the pros, at one point they were definitely a running back in Pee Wee football, Pop Warner football. At what point, I want to know, did you say, all right, I'm locking in on defense? Was there a play, a game? Did you hear something from somebody? What happened?
To be honest, Harrison, I think from the jump, I wanted to be Deion Sanders. So cornerback was always my number one position. So I think I was different than a lot of the kids. So if I went to like a camp, I ain't really go to no camps. But if I did, well, if I was to attend a camp at that age, and they asked like, "Give me my running backs, I probably would have went with the cornerbacks out the gate. So I just played offense to, score some touchdowns, have fun, and I was pretty good at offense too. So I played high school offense. I played offense in college. I even had a package of offense in the NFL, Harrison. And Raheem Morris, he took it off the table because I came late to work on Wednesday. He had a nice package for me. Took it off the table, man. But I think from the jump, though, Harrison, I was a DB, man. I was born a DB, baby.
What was it? What is it about being a DB? What was it? Is it the idea of shutting somebody down? Did you just get thrills out of that? And I do want to know about that package too.
This what it is, Harrison. I look at myself, right, in school and growing up, I'm the bully beater-upper, right? I'm not the bully, but I'm going to find out who the bully is, and I'm going to talk a little shit to him. I'm a bully him, right? So I'm the bully beater-upper. And I think the wideouts, they kind of the loud, they the prima donnas, and, they think they the coldest, and I always wanted to be the one to, like, just shut their ass up. So I think that's kind of how, it's just in my personality, Harrison.
Oh, there we go. That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
Now tell me about this package, though.
Man, so we was in Tampa. Look, Rod know. I came in, I was late. He called me upstairs. Threw the package at me. Boom. 15 plays. It's screens. It's reverses. It's seam routes. Look, it's kind of the same stuff that I scored on in college. He got with our OC, and they put a little package in for me. But he made me rip it up myself, man. He said, it's over with. I said, I can't reward you if you can't even make it to work on time. So it was in Tampa. Probably was like my third year in the league. I was getting comfortable, And I always do this. This is how you get them, Harrison. I play DB, but after practice or during one-on-ones, every once in a while, I just jump and play wide out, and I just show them real quick. And then the coaches will be like, damn. And they'll check my paperwork, check my background. Oh, he do play wide out. So, that's kind of how the package came about.
Well, with all your interceptions, you did show that you do have good hands.
I am really a wide out.
Yeah, there we go.
Play defense.
So let me ask you a question before we go to break. Did you ever walk up to Bill, to any other coach, and be like, hey, in Tampa, they was talking about...
Nah. Look, I think I might have told this story on this show. I don't know if I have or not. But when I first got to New England, Bill kept me after practice, the first practice, and had Tom throwing me passes, red zone passes. I was probably from the 25 in, corner routes, seam routes, little screens, slants. So they looked at me immediately, checked me out. I don't know what happened with it. I ain't never get a package.
There's no follow-up meeting after that.
It was no follow-up meeting after that. But the thought was there though. The thought was there. Bill kept me after, and I caught passes from Tom Brady in practice, man. You know what I'm saying?
Must have been lit.
Yeah.
But speaking of catching passes from quarterbacks, there's some pass-catching running backs. There's also some workhorse, bell cow running backs as well that we must discuss.
Yo, this Keenan Allen.
This is Jared Goff.
Devin McCourty here alongside my guy, Jason McCourty on the other side.
Yo, this is Tyrann Mathieu, and I had to make the call to the booth.
You know how to make that call to the booth from my guy, Aqib Talib.
Back with more Call to the Booth. The NFL draft is right around the corner, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and it's always interesting. Every year, there might be a running back or two that's taken in the first round, and then next thing you know, there's a running back taken in the fifth round, the seventh round that ends up being the star of the league. some guys who were taken early, Zeke Elliott, Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette, and then you have guys who were taken late, like Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler. It's really hard to figure out where the running back is going to pop and why. So, Aqib, I'm wondering for somebody like you who's on the other side of the ball, do you see the value in taking the running back in the first draft?
I think running back is tricky, man. Sometimes you draft them early, they not really that. Sometimes you get guys late, like you said, Aaron Jones, guys like that. You get them late, and they best in the league, right? So I think if you're going to draft one early, man, it just got to be one of those Saquon Barkley looking, Zeke looking, Todd Gurley. Got to be one of those guys. You're like, he's big, he fast, he break tackles, he almost checked every box, he do everything. So your standard, you got to be the best in college football in order for you to get taken high, just like every other position.
Yeah, and it's also interesting as well, too, because now that we saw this past offseason, running backs are starting to get paid again, but then
Right.
You're also still looking at the wear and it's the position has so much wear and tear that you're wondering, if I get this guy in the first round, he's got to be able to hit, and he's got to be able to hit right away. Before we
Right.
get into Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, your time in New England, you didn't have the premium spotlight running back, but obviously you had Tom Brady and just others. But in LA, you had Todd Gurley.
Right.
If you have a star quarterback, do you invest in that type of player, or how did your New England experience help you frame your thoughts on team construction? I know you're a media commentator now, but if you could play GM cap for a little bit for me.
Right. I think
Put
it's
on
just
the
a
GM
fit.
cap.
I think it's a fit, man. If I got a high pick and I got a running back out there who's one of those, Zeke Elliott type of running backs, and I got a good quarterback, if I got a good pass game and I need a game changer in the backfield, because that's what those guys is, they game changers. So if I have a chance to get a game changer in the backfield, I'm gonna get it, man. It definitely play a part in the game. I done played against Christian McCaffrey in the game, and he's just a game changer. They gave him the ball every play. They ran it, they threw it to him, they handed it to him. So, man, if you had a chance to get somebody like that, even with a good pass game, good quarterback, I'm going to grab somebody like that for sure. And in New England, we had Blunt. The year we had Blunt, I look at Blunt as one of those type of guys, man. He super explosive, 20-yard plus runs. I guarantee you he up there. He break a lot of big runs. So when we had him, man, it was like we had a playmaker in the backfield. So other running backs, not so much. But I think New England could use a running back right now, to be honest.
Well, they do have, let me see here, they do have 10 picks in the NFL draft, and surprisingly enough, the Eagles actually have 11. So there'll be some picks, obviously, used on the running backs, as we'll see here in the NFL draft coming up. With that being said, and you talked about pass catchers, so there's a debate going on, and I'm sure a lot of GMs are thinking about, do we go with the more bell cow type of running back like Najee Harris, or do we go with somebody who has maybe more of a pass catching flair like a Travis Etienne coming out of Clemson? If you had the first pick in the draft, or the team that might be first looking for a running back, where would you go?
I'm gonna go Travis, man, just because I think he do the same thing as Najee on the ground. They both break a lot of tackles. They both got speed to get around the edge. They both got good vision, but like you said, Travis, he had that pass catching ability to the mix, man, and now in today's game, you need that. So I think he's just a little tiny bit more complete, just because he can work out the backfield, you know what I'm saying, catching the football. So I'm gonna go with Travis Etienne. If Travis Etienne is there at 23, the Jets gotta take him. They need a running back. I think they gotta take him. They also need a cornerback, man. They need somebody to stand up in that secondary. But I think if he there, man, he the type of guy who you wanna put in your backfield. He's gonna be immediate impact. He's gonna break tackles for you. He's gonna make plays. So if he's sitting there at 23, the Jets better take him.
I think that also that comes with running backs, and we see this every year. There's that rookie running back that's spectacular, but at the same time, they need to be great at pass protection. Have
Right.
you evaluated what Etienne can do in that sense, and does that give you more confidence in maybe what Najee Harris was when you compare the two when it comes to being able to pass protect well?
Man, I think he's not bad. I think he's decent. He's pretty good at it. And I think once you get to the NFL, little smaller things like that, just blocking and just, technique and blocking, you'll get better at that. I see a bunch of running backs. You don't really have to do it much in college. They get to the NFL, man, they get better at it.
All right, so we talked about Najee Harris. We talked about Travis Etienne. Before we go to break, give me your sleeper.
I like, his name is Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter out of UNC. When you watch this guy tape, man, it's 20 plays, big plays after big plays, 20-yard plus plays after 20-yard plus plays, man. And that's what I look at. When you saw Christian McCaffrey and Zeke and Saquon Barkley, you see big play after big play after big play. And that's what tape like that transition to the NFL, man. So he's gonna be an explosive player, and he could be a returner for you, man. He catch the ball out the backfield. So, man, if he get in the right situation, I can see him being an immediate impact. And I got to show some love to Puka Williams out of Kansas, man. Smaller guy, but he going to do the same thing. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can return for you. And he weighed in about 175, but I promise you he run like he's 200 pounds, man. This guy get his pass down, and he really don't take hard hits because he's so instinctive, and he jugs out of tackles, man. So Puka Williams out of Kansas, Michael Carter out of UNC, man. I think both of those guys going to add a lot to a team. Whatever team they go to, they're going to add a lot.
Javonte Williams also getting a lot of buzz coming out of North Carolina as well. And can I give you the guaranteed lock to be the fantasy football best running back coming out of the class?
Who is it, Harrison?
It's only because of his name. Kenny Gainwell. out of Memphis. 5'11", 191. He sat out last year with COVID, but he had 1,500 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns in his redshirt freshman year in 2019. So doesn't have a lot of wear and tear. And again, his last name is Gainwell. It don't get no better than that.
Gainwell, baby. It don't get no better than that, man. I checked him out. I checked him out too. It's one of the backs who I checked out, Harrison. Nice, compact guy, and I can see him. He's one of the I got Najee, Travis, then he was one of the middle guys, and then I got to my sleepers, what was Michael Carter and Puka. But he definitely was in my 3, 4, 5 range for sure.